What's going on, everybody? Eric Lindquist at Stochastic here on the Odd Chopper channel, coming to you with the Wednesday Hump Day edition of MLB Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks. Hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell. Goes a long way for me on this video. Goes a long way for you. That way you become apprised whenever great content is going live here at our little neck of the YouTube woods. So far, not as good of content as normal, although why did I override Spencer Torkelson? Why did I do that? I explained it very in-depth, said he was in line, and then, of course, he just hits an absolute bomb off of Povich. An absolute bomb. Sometimes you outsmart yourself, and, well, luckily I got Michael Bush on Lindy's long balls. If you don't follow me on X, at Eric Lindquist, that's where you can find me there. That is me, Lindy. Hi, hello. That is with a C for correct in the last name. I know there's some ERIKs out there. They walk amongst us too. But anyway, not a great start to the card here overall because Mackenzie Gore gets pulled at 89 pitches. He goes 6 innings. He had 5 strikeouts through 2 1/3, and he finishes with 6. That was absolute brutality. He had a number of pitches that very easily could have gone his direction, but got squeezed a little bit. Hey, that's the way that it works. However, it has been an awesome run for the last couple of weeks. I'm not going to complain too much. Plus, have some interesting stuff on the card here for the evening window. Ended up on some Mariners again. Hopefully those lefties do not show up out of the Arizona pen, but I am ready to rock. We got 15 games, tons to talk about. Plus, the last 3 Wednesdays have been Hulk smashes in the premium Discord. There's going to be updated stuff for the afternoon. There's baseball all day. Lindy 5. This is the best day to jump into the premium Discord, I believe, because I'm in there from the day when it begins until late night until after I record, because that is how things work when you got the baseball on Wednesdays and Thursdays sometimes as well, all the live long day. But producer Jacob's ready to rock. I'm ready to roll. Let's get to the picks. God, why did I override Torkelson? Whatever, we're going to move on. This is a forward-thinking show. We got Miami and Pittsburgh starting off our card, and it's the early game, 12:35 Eastern, 9:35 a.m. Pacific. So I know people want to bet it. I know you really need to bet it because you want to get out of the bed in the morning. You want to brush your teeth. You want to put on your shoes. You want to go to work. And if you're on the East Coast, you want to do something over lunch on your phone and maybe have a little baby sweat. But if you're waking up in the morning, just sleep in through this one. Over 8.5. It's Quantrill and Bailey Falter, and both of them have found ways of being minorly successful at times. Now, I think they're both awful for what it's worth. I don't think either of them are very good pitchers. 5.23 expected ERA, 5.63 actual ERA for Cal Quantrill. But you get this feast or famine Pittsburgh team that I really can't get a gauge on. Notice we haven't really bet anything on the Pittsburgh side all season long. I was kind of going through that, and it was unintentional, but it's the combination of the ballpark, PNC. It's the they'll quick hook a lot of the starters outside of Paul Skeens. We bet Paul Skeens mainly unders, but then ended up betting an over for him on Sunday in a parlay in the premium Discord, along with GOAT Christopher Sanchez. The two of them together giving us some nice money. But over 8.5, it's purely because I don't really like the quality of pitchers, but don't really trust either lineup. Plus, as we get into the tail end of this series, Miami, they're focused on trade pieces. They're focused on what they're going to be doing years from now as opposed to right now, because they're just going to keep losing. Bichette, this is an interesting one because Toronto and the Cardinals, the one thing that it did go nice as far as an addition, what a dipshit I am, was Addison Barger. I've played him 1.5 hits plus runs plus RBIs the last 2 days. He cashed in the first inning for us Monday. He made us wait a little bit longer till mid-game on Tuesday. But on Wednesday, I don't even know if he ends up in the lineup against Liberatore, left on left. We'll see. I doubt it, but he's been so good. I probably keep rolling him out there as opposed to, I'm Clase. I'm the first girl to screen around the track. Jonathan Clase and Nathan Lukes, and Nathan Luke's got scratched, so maybe that does give him an opening to potentially be out there. He's got third base, outfield. He can bounce around a little bit, but primarily your everyday third baseman, because Ernie Clement can slide over to the second base. Why do I watch so much baseball? I watch so much baseball. Bo Bichette, though, want to just give him a shout out because his hard hit, it's back. 307 expected batting, along with 50.2% hard hit. I mean, him, Kirk, Vlad, Barger, all of them north of the 50% number. George Springer just underneath 50%. It's kind of a nice top 5 here. The AL East really rocking. And to think Baltimore now in the doldrums there as Tampa Bay's gotten hot, until this Boston series, but we'll see how things pan out there. Ryan Pepe, oh my God, went nuts. Erod, 5 or 6 Ks. This is tough. And this is the tough part about night before. This and the Vasquez piece in the bottom left-hand corner. I don't know where the books are going to set this one, but last night we were able to snipe Mackenzie Gore. I know it didn't win, but at plus 127, we were able to get a massive amount of closing line value on that. I guess plus 117, then it got to plus 127, and then it closed at like minus 102 on the over of 6.5. Now, he loses. He only gets 6 strikeouts, only gets 89 pitches as he went a full 6, had those 5 strikeouts in 2 1/3. Oh, I hate it. I hate it so much, but this is going to be one I have to be very sensitive to because the Mariners, they're going to strike out a little bit more against righties. And then you should have all of the lefties back to go. But I know teams like to do the whole pinch hit thing, make you like minimal towards the end of games, helps you when you get to the 10th, 11th inning. I have a tough time figuring out exactly how Arizona is going to be dealing with Seattle in this spot. And so I think it's my favorite play from it purely because Cal Raleigh, I mean, we've expired our use on him. His numbers have been asinine the last few, and I refuse to play an under on him. Actually, that's not true. I'll play an under on anything because I'm about making money, but I do think you've got to be sensitive. That said, Dominic Calzone, Cal Raleigh, hopefully you do something here when I get off this show. We got Randy Vasquez under 3.5 strikeouts against the Dodgers. On the other side of it, they're going to be rolling out Robleski, who has an interesting pitch mix in a AAA. I think there's like a case to be made for him being your back end starter. We'll see how Bobby Miller does tonight as well. That game starts in 30 minutes, but Randy Vasquez is awful. 383 xWOBA, 13.4% K rate. And well, he just finds ways of being effective. My good friend Toast, I know it's his boy. Shout out the Kyle Kerm show. Definitely be checking them out. I very much like those gentlemen, but Randy Vasquez under 3.5 strikeouts. I don't see him finding swing and miss here against the Dodgers lineup. Plus 5.83 expected ERA next to a 3.69 ERA. Think about parlaying the Ks, like the under of Ks, along with the under of pitching outs, because I think that that's really kind of keying in on him getting bludgeoned, which I think is very live in an afternoon game in the Bay down there in San Diego. Got a one way ticket so we can go see The Cure. Nobody knows that Blink-182 song. It's like the new Blink-182, but now the old band's back together. Speaking of the old band, Kerry Carpenter, he had been on the card earlier, and then I realized, oh shit, I'm 0-5 betting Kerry Carpenter home runs. What? How is that even possible this season? How have I not connected on a Kerry Carpenter home run since May 1st? How? Somebody explain that to me. It doesn't make sense. I'm 0-5 betting. I might bet him tomorrow. Let's get to the next slide of things here. Oh, by the way, just to like touch on it because it's Baltimore and, you know, it's whatever. They have awful pitching staff and everybody seems to just find new ways of disappointing you. But Zach Eflin looks like he's due for positive regression. I just think he's going to continue to give up power to everybody. Rafael Devers does have power for everybody. And we got a pair of lefties there. Whoop, corner. But Rafael Devers, he gets an awesome spot. So Tampa Bay, they've been on the rise. But Zach Littell, I don't trust it. 491 expected slugging, 11.9% barrel percentage. It's going to come down to the weather. And Roman Anthony going to be a spot where you could potentially roll him out. He hasn't hit a home run today, right? I know he hit that 2-run double, so shout out him for that. But it is definitely one of those spots where I could see Rafael Devers being too short of a number. And this is not one of those morning games. This is 4:10. So we're getting like a normal 7:10 Eastern time start time. So just wanted to double check on that. Washington, thanks for pulling Gore after 6 and sub 90 pitches. I hope you lose that game now. Taking on the Mets, and I'm actually hoping you have everybody get hit up in this one to some extent. I do not think I will end up rolling this one out as opposed to some of the other plays that we've talked about that I think are more interesting. And that's sad because Jake Irvin is awful. David Peterson is not very good. He is the one pitcher I think really due for negative regression on the Metsies side. I mean, we've seen decent enough stuff from some other guys. Again, the Mets have done an awesome job with these starters, but a 2.80 ERA next to a 3.77 expected ERA, negative regression pasted all over it. Might actually look at his earned runs. I think Washington, even against lefties, have been a little bit sneaky. You underestimate the sneakiness, sir. Shout out him. Now he's just crushing it on everything. Forgot his name. Producer Jacob knows it. Anyway, the Yankees taking on Kansas City. I can't recall exactly what it was that went so well there, but 5-1 in the 6th. I definitely need that game to go over to kind of salvage a little bit. Not a lot, baby girl, just a little bit for me here on this Tuesday because we've been on such a hot streak. I don't want it to end. The good times need to keep rolling. And, well, under 9 is actually the direction I'm looking at for this time around, which should tell you starting pitching really, really matters. And Chris Bubich here, I think has been not unhittable by any means, but Way better than what I was giving him credit for coming into the season. Didn't know what to make of it because these converted bullpen arms, you don't know if the strikeout stuff is going to stick, but right now, 26.9% K rate along with a 276 xWOBA. And even though he gives up fly ball content, even though it looks like decent enough hitting weather, it's at least getting into the evening hour there in Kansas City. And Clark Schmidt himself has been really nice. 216 expected batting average, does have the 10.3% walk rate, has a way higher ERA than an actual expected ERA, 3.07 next to a 4.04 actual ERA. Keep that in mind. Texas taking on my Twinsies. Corey Seager gets to take on David Fiesta, and boy, David Festa gives up power to everybody. I'm really interested in Texas bats, but I think it's kind of the entire ensemble. It's not just Corey Seager specific. And I know he's been brutal. Even this game where they're just bashing in the Twins' head right now. 6th inning, 8 runs already on the board for it. Corey Seager, he's got a walk. He has a single. He has another walk. He got a line out. Teams are pitching around him, and he's happy to be taking pitches. But that doesn't help you if you're betting home runs. You play to win the game, or in this case, the bet. Duh. Herm Edwards. I knew that one. Last slide. One more slide to the left. Slide to the right. My neck just cracked. Did you hear that? Robbie Ray, under 6.5 strikeouts. You're at altitude, curveball, walks, lots of things that come into the variance here for Robbie Ray. I think just about anything is possible for him in this spot. Be paying attention to these opening lines. I'm going to try to snipe something on the Robbie Ray side and try to short him, but I don't like doing it with the total. I don't like doing it with betting the Giants because you just get zero value against the Rockies. I want to be looking at pitching props. So if you guys want to know exactly what I end up on, Lindy 5, that's how you jump into the Discord. Here's how. Well, I guess I kind of told you. Let's just hit the slide. $5. Lindy 5. Everybody loves slides. Bitches love slides. $5 for your first week, friends. You want to be checking it out purely because it's been Inferno time. Oh, good. Evan Carter just hit a home run. Now it's 10-3. Way to go. Way to go, Twins. Way to go. That's kind of how I feel about my Tuesday overall. Hopefully it can rebound. Hopefully I can finish out strong because, that would feel really, really nice. But what feels really, really nice is knowing that you're taken care of and that nobody's working harder for your money. Go to Geico with your money. Your girl got lipo with your money. Guys, join the Discord. It's been awesome times in there. Already, back to the picks we go. Guys, sometimes my brain just goes to far off places. I know producer Jacob appreciates it from time to time. From time to time? Maybe. He's special. Chicago taking on Philly here, friends, and in a nice way. I'm special in a different way. We got the Cubbies, and this is borderline asinine to me. I don't understand this line in any way, shape, or form because we got not a pitching mismatch, because I think coming into this season, Jesus Luzardo, somebody that I definitely would have probably stuck my neck out for and said, hey, he's got good enough strikeout stuff. He's got stuff that can drop down into the dirt, you drop down and get you eagle on girl. But in the morning, early in the morning, we should not be getting this kind of a number on a 1 o'clock start time, 10 a.m. on the Pacific. Well, it doesn't matter. It's 1 o'clock local time here for this game. And you get Jesus Luzardo coming off of potentially the 2 worst starts by starters in back-to-back outings all season long by any pitcher. 12 earned against Milwaukee, 8 earned on the road in Toronto. 20 earned in his last 2. Hasn't gotten to 6 total innings in those 2 starts. 76 and 61 pitches. I don't know what's going on. I do expect it's going to get better. I just go to think that things might get better. But Ben Brown has been so much better his last 2 starts. And I went through some of the data because I didn't know what changed, because you look at it on the surface, it's calm and ready to drop bombs. 5.37 ERA, 1.43 whip, and it's going to be good hitting weather there in Philly. But 6 innings against Cincinnati, 7 against Detroit. That's just 2 earned runs in his last 2. We're talking the hottest pitcher and the coldest pitcher you could possibly run into. And I'm not a big hot streaks guy, but when I like the Chicago Cubs lineup more straight up, and I'm getting the plus money tag in front of them, and I'm guaranteeing 9 innings at bats, I guess it would get the Phillies managing there. But the Phillies bullpen, not nearly as good as the Cubs either. What are we even paying attention to? I know Phillies bullpen's been improved, but they've got some injuries there. They need to figure some closing shit out. And Strom, well, he tried to give it away the other night, but we'll see how it goes here on Tuesday as they close out this game. I'm just looking at this. I've played it for a half unit, but it could be borderline lock territory, and I want you to know that. It's my favorite play of the day here so far. I might add more to it. I'm just going to track it. I'm going to track it. Normally, I've already locked it, and then I'll like it. But this one, I've liked it, and I might lock it If you want to know, hit me up at Eric Lindquist right there, or in the premium Discord, you're going to know because you're going to see the bet or not. And I mean the bet more than just the half unit anyway, because you're going to obviously see the half unit. Cincy taking on Cleveland here. And this one is fascinating because, well, we were on the over and it smacked the first game. And we were on the over the second game on Tuesday, and Andrew Abbott pitches a complete game gem. There was no hitting Andrew Abbott. He just went completely ballistic. But in baseball, that happens from time to time. You have to accept it. You have to accept it. And sure, this keeps the Cincy pen completely intact, but the number kind of stands out as something that basically opened with that kind of in mind. It jumped out right as that game was kind of midway through. Again, sometimes you'll get the lines for the next day while the game is going on. That's usually the case for all of these games on Tuesday heading into Wednesday, especially as they have staggered start times starting in the morning throughout the day. But hey, Matt Wallner, home run in a game that doesn't matter. Cool. We are back on the over train because both of these lefties, that is on one side of it, Logan Allen, who I think you probably know I don't like, and Nick Lodolo, who I definitely do. And I think this is what it comes down to. This right-handed lineup against Cleveland Guardians definitely pays attention to platoons. They're going to roll out David Fry in the DH. Then if a righty comes in out of the pen for Cincy, which will definitely happen at some point, you're going to get Kyle Manzardo pinch hitting for David Fry. We haven't had great betting numbers on him to be able to short him. I've tried. Trust me, I've tried. Even if I'm not mentioning it, I'm always trying, guys. I am. Kyle Manzardo, though, I mean, you can't really bet any of the props here for him because he's not going to be out there against a lefty, I assume. But Logan Allen, this is really what it comes down to. Cincinnati, they didn't do a whole hell of a lot themselves on Tuesday either, but you're going to get a lot of rock stars in there with Christian Encarnacion Strand, who I really like. I always have, just needs to stay healthy. Let's do that for once. Tyler Stevenson, back in our lives, has been really, really good here through the first couple of weeks of his big league season because he got a late start with injury as well. Ellie De La Cruz, even left on left Gavin Lux. Matt McClain starting to look like we might have a pulse again. I think 8.5 is about a run too low. So yeah, I'd be pushing this up to the 9.5 number here. 8.5, small bit of value for us here, half unit. We got 2 more plays, or no, 3 more plays. I know I got 3 more. We got 1 money line though on this card already with the Cubbies, and we got another one coming up here. I don't get this number either, but I don't love it as much because I do think you have Milwaukee very clearly going from Chad Patrick to some other dudes at some point because, well, Spencer Schwellenbach's been much improved. He's back to being somewhat Spencer Schwellenbach-y. Spencer Schwellenbach-y. It's a lot of words. I could have just said he looks better. He looks better, guys. Spencer Schwellenbach is starting to look like Spencer Schwellenbach. That's probably the easier way of saying it. But overall, Chad Patrick, he has pretty decent stuff on the surface, but a 21-degree launch angle, no ground ball stuff against a very, very hard-hitting Atlanta Braves team. And there's not a lot of strikeout equity with him. He throws a cutter four-seamer. That changeup has to get more involved in his arsenal if he is going to get some swing and miss. But 23.7% whip percentage and 24.4% whip percentage on a four-seamer, those are not repeatable entities for his pitch mix. He needs to have something breaking, and the sinker really isn't doing it as much either. So if he's just going to be a one-track pony here, I know the fastball run value has been really, really high this season, but I expect negative regression on that. And I get Schwellenbach here at minus 138. This is straightforward. This should be minus 150 or up. So there you go. Atlanta money line. I like it. I also like Portfolio EV. 2 free weeks, friends. Lindy, 1 when you sign up at the link below. Would love to have you guys. Would love to have you guys over there in the Odd Shopper Discord, chatting away, talking about market-based betting. That is not just, obviously I've got my Discord talking through a lot of my origination process, but I'm telling you, Portfolio EV, if you are in a time crunch and you're looking for some quick bets, Portfolio EV has a ton of them available to you. Head to the link below, sign up using promo code Lindy1 and get yourself 2 free weeks of Portfolio EV. That's it. It can't get easier than that. Download the Odd Chopper app, oddchopper.com. Would love to see you there. Alrighty, y'all. 2 more plays, 2 props. Let's get to them. The Athletics and the Angels. This one is fun. We're getting a 4:07 Eastern time, a 1:07 local time start time for the Angels on Angeles, taking on, I don't think that's the Spanish word for it. JP Sears is assumed to be your starter, but always be on the lookout. Always be on the lookout. It's really hard for me to just click on something until I get some kind of confirmation on what the Athletics are going to do, or if there's going to be an opener. We were waiting on the Mitch Spence thing. Seems like Mitch Spence is going to start tonight, and it just ends up being a headache. But Kyle Hendricks, we know, is going to start here for the Los Angeles Angels. And Nick Kurtz got up to the cleanup spot today. Jacob Wilson was scratched. And I don't think the numbers did a very good job of encapsulating what kind of upside Nick Kurtz has. Now, I didn't bet it because it was only about 10, 12 cents off. And when a guy gets back from injury, I don't have to force it if I don't absolutely love it. We saw 0-for-4 for him in his first time back there on Monday, but that was against Yusei Kikuchi. And now he gets to go up against a righty here today on Tuesday and a righty on Wednesday in Kyle Hendricks, which is more applicable to this play. I think Nick Kurtz is going to hit a lot of home runs in his big league career. 13.2 degree launch angle, really high raw power grade over on Fangraphs, and then a 453 expected slugging. Yes, he's going to strike out a lot, but these are my favorite type of home run plays. Kyle Hendricks doesn't strike out anybody. 14.7% K rate. So you're getting a fly ball pitcher in the afternoon in LA, as opposed to the evening with the marine layer coming in, which is definitely proven to up home run production. Now, books can look at that too. I'm not saying that it's going to be overly predictable, but I thought about betting Nick Kurtz home run number on Tuesday against Soriano, who's more of a ground ball style pitcher. And now I'm getting a much better number on the fly ball Kyle Hendricks, or the identical number is the assumption here. Nick Kurtz, anything better than plus 350? That's how much respect I'm giving to him batting in the cleanup spot against Kyle Hendricks in the afternoon. I think you should be too. And rounding out our card, the White Sox and the Houston Astros. Alrighty. Monday was an absolute Hulk slam, the likes of which the world's never seen before. Actually, you've seen it a lot over the last couple of weeks. But then Tuesday, kind of fallen by the wayside. But I do think that we've been on the right plays regardless of outcome. And that's kind of the key to this entire thing is long term, which, again, people going at me at the end of April, you suck, you were the worst. And then May was pretty good because the second half of May just absolutely smacked. And June's been a movie. So let's keep that kind of going and keep that in mind. But it's because of small things to pay attention to, such as this, that we make money. Andrew Benintendi is potentially my favorite total bases and home run play of the last month for tomorrow, because he gets to go up against this guy, Ryan Gusto, and the numbers haven't moved very much on Andrew Benintendi from game to game. I've looked. I went through last 10 data. That's usually kind of the main way of doing this. It kind of expedites the process. Otherwise, you get a little too granular. And obviously, we have the sample size that I want to be able to look at the full season and compare it to what they're doing recently and kind of decide for myself. Again, the recency bias thing, I think, is a massive problem. Like, you do not want to fall in love with somebody who's just quote unquote hot and think they're going to continue hot, even though Cal Raleigh probably defies that and is probably going against everything I'm saying. But Andrew Benintendi has a 510 expected slugging and a 361 xWOBA. His numbers are not that good on the season. 245, 315, 427. But you know what? There's room for that to grow, friends. I mean, we're talking way better xWOBA, 361 xWOBA next to a 323 WOBA. The hard hits at 40%, which is the highest he's had since 2021. I feel really good about a guy who's had lefty problems. Ryan Gusto, 6 home runs allowed to lefties, 0 to righties. I think this is a great spot to back Andrew Benintendi in the total bases plus money with a huge amount of real estate out there into center field and right field. And I might sweeten it with the home run play. So I want him on your radar. Andrew Benintendi, haven't pulled the trigger on him. I've been paying close attention to him for a while. This is the spot. This is your time. This is your dance. Live every moment. Leave nothing to chance. I didn't write that. Benintendi 2+ bases. Let's get out of here. And that does it for another edition of MLB Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks. Head to the comment section below. Let me know your favorite plays that exist on the board for this one. Let me know if you bet Spencer Torkelson. I talked about it so much, and in the end, it was just a little too thin, and I wish it, I like a little ass on it. Thank you, producer Jacob. Until next time, friends, I'm Eric Lindquist. Best of luck in the MLB streets on Wednesday.